It's time to duel!
Hey YouTube, Baby Jace here, and today I'm going to talk about the Unholy DK general guide for this current patch and possibly patch 7.1. Patch 7.1 might change things a little bit, Death Coil now does a little more damage, and we're probably going to be using the new Strength Potion, but other than that, it should be very, very much the same unless they completely change what they're buffing and nerfing, which is possible. It is Blizzard. Now, let's go right into legendaries because I'm sure you guys are dying to know what's the best. Obviously, bracers are the best. A second best is going to be the ring or the belt. They pretty much do identical damage, and the shoulders are the worst. And the shoulders are just bad, and they really don't. They suck. I mean, you use them right because they do increase your damage, but the playstyle sucks. As for talents, we're going to go Bursting Swords, and when we're talking about talents, I'm going to be mostly talking about Mythic. Generally in Heroic, you can kind of get away with mostly anything. Heroic is more about mechanics, and Mythic is about mechanics and DPS. So, for here, we're going to go Bursting Swords. Almost every single fight has AoE, even Ursoc, every fight has AoE or some form of cleave, so Bursting Swords is very, very strong. Pestilent Pustules is just a no-brainer. Epidemic Blows. They did a public nerf on it, and then they did 2 or 3 stealth nerfs on it. It just sucks over the course of beta. When it first came out on beta, it was insane, and then it just blows now. Castigator's your go-to, and this is, again, a general guide. If you have bracers, it might change up what talents you take, but for the most part, you're going to be taking Castigator. You can either go Sludge Belcher or Debilitating Infestation. I did use Infestation on Cenarius and on Xavius. I did not use Sludge Belcher on those fights because I didn't feel like it was needed. The Debilitating Infestation AoE slow is really, really nice. I also use it on Il'gynoth, just as AoE slow bloods, just to help out since it's really not a damage race. It's just you kind of have to control all the bloods. I've been using Spell Eater, but Lingering Apparition is perfectly fine if you need it to get to places faster and you need Wraithwalk up more often. I did not feel like I needed either of those things on farm, so yeah. On progression, I did use Lingering Apparition. I didn't use Spell Eater or Corpse Shield. Didn't really feel the need to. Well, I used Spell Eater on Cenarius because it was very nice on there, but outside of that, I did not use it. As for this row, Infected Claws. Infected Claws is the best on this row. It's better single target, it's better AoE, it's just a very, very solid talent. And when I say better, I mean 1% better than Shadow Infusion. It's not going to be holy shit, my damage went up by 10, 20k, but it is slightly better. And it really makes the playstyle nice. If you didn't know, whenever you use Arc Transformation, if your ghoul were to proc Infected Claws, it will AoE apply the Festering Wound on everything around it, which is really, really, really nice. And as for the last row, you go Soul Reaper on everything. Dark Arbiter blows. Even if you have shoulders, it still blows. It's been nerfed 5 separate times on beta. It just is not good anymore. Defile is also not good. It's not good. And that's just the way it is. It really sucks. Alright, so talents are out of the way. Let's go over the opener, I guess. So on the opener, you're going to Army of the Dead at 7 seconds. You're going to use your potion and transform your ghoul at 1 second. And then on the pole, you're going to summon the gargoyle and use Outbreak. And then your pretty much main priority is going to get the boss up to 8 wounds and then APOC. And then from there on, you're pretty much going to be Festering Wound and spamming Scourge Strike whenever you can. If you can't, you don't want to Scourge Strike on no wounds. So if you only have 1 rune, no wounds, you can Death Coil. But in the opener, while you have that potion up, you need to be prioritizing your runes. And in general, you're going to want to prioritize your runes in general because the runes just do much more damage. And Runic Power, you can get more runes back. It does do some damage. It is getting buffed in patch 7.1. It does give your ghoul energy, but it just doesn't do damage. It really doesn't do a lot of damage. Whereas your runes do a massive amount of damage. Scourge Strike, Festering Strike are huge. They do so much damage, it's unreal. So really, if you're capped out on Runic Power and you have 4 runes, it still might be better to just say fuck the Runic Power and just prioritize your runes, you know? Like, maybe if you have 1 rune, you can just start spamming the death coil, but if you have more than 3 runes, yeah, I would just use runes. Runes are way more important than the death coil. So I'm gonna do a sample opener, and I'm just gonna do this for 1 minute, because you don't really need to see more after their minute. Ooh, I forgot to mention. So with Soul Reaper, every 45 seconds, you're gonna want to make sure that you have 3 wounds on the target, and you just Soul Reaper off cooldown and pop 3 wounds. It is a mini Bloodlust. It is very, very strong, and you really don't want to delay it, because however much you delay your Soul Reaper by, you have to delay your next APOC by, which kind of sucks. Every other Soul Reaper, you're going to line it up with your Apocalypse, and every other Apocalypse, you're going to line that up with the Gargoyle. Now, you're allowed to summon the Gargoyle early if your Apocalypse is not up, because the Gargoyle lasts 40 seconds, the APOC and the Soul Reaper is only 15 seconds, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to do a sample pull timer. I'm going to get a 10-second pull timer. We're armoring on 7.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're transforming. Pull starts. Now, normally I'm going to have Lust, so we'd probably do a lot more damage than I'm going to do. I don't have Lust, so I just Soul Reapered. I got the APOC. I'm still waiting on runes. Okay, runes are up. And I'm pretty much going to try my best to prioritize some runes here. Not really like too concerned about the runic power, but we're just prioritizing some runes here. I mean, and that's really kind of the way it is. It kind of stinks, but I mean, that's just the way the spec plays out. Now, obviously, this opener isn't like exactly the most ideal, because I would normally have Lust, and not having Lust is kind of bad. But yeah, I mean, you don't really want to Festering Strike when you have more than 4 wounds, and you don't want to Scourge Strike on less than 3. So now you see here, Soul Reaper's coming up. I'm the Soul Reaper, and I'm just going to start spamming some... Yep, there we go. So now we already have a 3-stack Soul Reaper up, and we're just going. The Ghoul's back up, transform it, why not? And, you know, I mean, this is pretty much the rotation. You just really need to keep an eye on your Festering wounds. And that's really the most important thing for Unholy, this expansion. And yeah, like I said, you don't want to Scourge Strike under 3, and you don't want to Festering Strike over 4. And you just kind of like see what kind of procs you're going to get on Castigator. Now, it is a slight DPS gain to Festering Strike on 7 to get an 8-stack APOC. However, it's like 100 DPS. It's not really a big deal. And even if you have 7, your Infected Claws is usually going to help you bridge the gap. As far as Soul Reaper goes, if you're able to, you want to refresh the Soul Reaper before it falls off the enemy by popping another wound off of the mob. And so even if you have 3 and before it fades, if you pop another wound, it'll go back up to 15 seconds with those 3. So it's really strong. So yeah, this is pretty much the opener. I'm gonna pretty much get away from here because I don't want to pull it. But yeah, as for Best in Slot gear, I didn't really go over that because this expansion is different from older expansions. Best in Slot's gonna pretty much be whatever you get the highest eye level on. It kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is. Like, yeah, this has crit on it, but it has verse. And the other item I think in the raid is crit haste. And crit haste is obviously better, but this is 895. So it doesn't. Even if this was verse mastery, I think this would still be better. Simply because it's 895. And that's just the way it is. You just kind of go with whatever has the highest level and sockets. I mean, really, that's it. I use an add-on called Stat Weight Score to quickly see if an item is better. I'll sim it for myself later, but I mean, if the add-on says it's better, then I'll just go with the new item. And the way it works is you input your stat weights into the add-on, and then it'll have a quick like little thing that says it's an upgrade. See, like on this, it's saying Ursock's Running Paw is an upgrade by 0.18% overall, which would mean it would be pretty good upgrade. And disclaimer, it's only saying that because it's a trinket. So stat weights do not work well on trinkets. You're gonna have to sim that, but it does work well for like regular items. So like this item compared to my legendary boots, this item is a massive downgrade, and it'll let me know, okay, well, I don't want that fucking item. And yeah, so you wanna sim yourself, try and get your stat weights, try and do a 50,000 iteration sim. Anything below that's kind of gonna be a little unreliable. 50,000 isn't exactly the best, but it's like the minimum standard you need really for simming anyways. And what else? If you don't know how to sim, I'm sure you can Google it, how to find your stat weights. There's so many resources out there in the DK Discord, on the competitive WoW subreddit. So yeah, I really hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or you think I missed something, go ahead and leave a comment. I can easily respond. I'm always able to respond. My phone alerts me whenever you guys leave a comment. So go ahead and leave a comment on the page. In the description, my UI, I have a link to a video that shows you how to get my UI, how to get my tell me wins, how to get my weak auras, like my LVUI profile. All that stuff is in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Unholy's a lot of fun this time around. It does a lot of good damage. Oh, compared to Frost, I guess it does good damage. Frost is getting buffed though, so that's kind of probably going to change a little bit. They'll probably be a little more even, or Frost might be a little bit better if you don't have the bracers with Unholy. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a fun spec. I think I really like how it plays out. I just wish it did more damage. A lot of people think it does, like, a lot of damage, like, and it's one of the best specs, but it's not. Rogue is usually going to do more, Warrior does more, Paladin does more, Demon Hunter can do more, depending. Almost all the range classes can do more. It's just kind of where we are. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, leave a comment if you need help, and other than that, have a good day.